Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. It is the 20s, and we are getting up to a lot of stuff. It's been a little bit since I played, because I've been needing to record a bunch of Burden of Command. There we go. Get those market things out of here. I had something I was gonna... Right! I was gonna challenge... I was gonna maybe do some more establishing protectorates in India here. Because that is a thing I want to do. Before I do that, let me take a quick look at my subjects. All my subjects are puppets, and all of them are pretty low in liberty desire, it looks like. So I'm feeling pretty good overall about my capabilities. I'm about to pop the electric railways tech, which is going to really improve my motor industries. And then I've got a huge pile of government admin to build, which is going to, in turn, make my motor industries, make my electrics industries a lot more productive. Huh. Maybe I won't convert these right away. I'm gonna need more radios. More demand for radios. Demand for radios is low in my country, in my market, which is actually quite unusual for me. The radio's demand is usually sky high compared to telephone's demand. I guess it's mostly pops buying radios. Well, that's pretty cool. That's standard of living bump. And I know I've been talking about, not doing as much, going after other countries, but I just, it's so little infamy. Hey, there's the steam turbine. Actually, maybe I should have done that originally. That is something that I should definitely do. Let me see, how much coal do they use? It's 30 coal per power plant, and I got a bunch in the works. Let me see, how's coal in the market, though? Coal's usually relatively expensive, but for me, it's actually not. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I know, they're pretending it's not it's expensive, but it's not. If we go over to modern port method, do we have enough oil to sustain that? Oh, we surely do. Beautiful. Modern ports it is. Public motor carriage is already producing enough cars. Oh yeah, that's much more effective. Financially, I say, oh no, it's more efficient if we don't. That's curious. Hold on. Let me just look at the market here. If I swap this over, this is reducing the demand for engines by 400 and increasing the demand for automobiles by 800. So let's take a quick look here. Engines are our most expensive thing. There's electric railways, so that's going to improve that marginally. Where's automobiles? Automobiles are... I'm producing automobiles, aren't I? Yes, I am. Automobiles are right in the middle. Yeah, so it's gonna be better. Even if it thinks it's not, it's gonna be. Well, having been said, I just got electric railway, so that's gonna help me produce a ton more engines. And there's multilateral alliances, which is also going to be extremely good for me because of reduced infamy costs. So, motor industries, I've got them in a lot of different places. Let's take a look at Xi'an. Do we have power here? Not much. Alright, where have I electrified so far? Let me actually look at that. That's the smarter way to do this. I've currently electrified. I've currently electrified a lot of different places, but mostly... What if I over-electrified it? I've over-electrified Shanxi. Beijing, we're currently working on. And That's it. Alright, so Shanxi, Beijing, and Guangxi. So, Shanxi, you've got some motor industries. Let's make electric engines. And then Beijing, we've got a solid amount of electricity here. Yes, yes we do. So, you'll go over to making electric engines. And then Guangxi, I forget, no, that's Guangxi's way down in the south. Guangxi has a lot of motor industries. We haven't built a bunch of these power plants yet. So maybe we take them up to the top. Well, these government industries are going to get built pretty fast, but there are also a lot of them. Why did I do this to myself? Isn't this riveting gameplay? I think I'm going to throw 5 levels of electrification up to the top of the queue. After that, I'm going to do all these barracks, because those barracks are going to be good. This isn't maybe really the most efficient way, but since I am going into a war, or at least planning on going into a war, this will be good long term. Organized crime. Criminal organizations have begun operating in Guangxi. It doesn't matter if we arrest one person or solve one crime, it will keep going unless we go all the way to the top. Put some funds into stamping out the organizations. That's going to cost us a barrel full of money, or I'm sure the authorities can handle it. Reduced authority. I'm going to use the authorities. I'm sure they can handle it. So these barracks are going to take some time. But then the power plants will get built. I'm trying to think of which I want first, the barracks or the power plants. I want to get these barracks out of the way, because these are a lot of artillery, I think. And what that's going to do is that's going to lead to increased demand for radios, because my artillery uses radios. Now, for tech, I'm working on sea lane strategies. That's going to lead to a massive improvement in my military capabilities at sea, which is good. And then the question is, do I knock out the rest of the tier 4s and start bashing away at the tier 5s? And I think the answer to that is yes. So we'll queue in Dreadnought, Wargaming, everyone's favorite thing. And then I'll queue in NCO training. And NCO training is just going to blow everything else out of the water. We'll give this a minute. Well, I don't necessarily need to. I don't think I'm going to be... The Ottoman Empire, I'm not really scared of at this stage of history. So let's, yeah, let's go after various, let's go after countries. Actually, Bengal, yeah, 36 infamy. It's never been a better time for me to take over Bengal. So if I take over Bengal, they've got an alliance with Bhutan, which I'm not worried about, and a defensive pact with Nepal, which I'm also not worried about. Obviously, I would love to have them as subject states, but I can't necessarily do that right now immediately. If I do this, who's likely to step in? Great Britain could. Assam, Manipur. I can definitely take the British on land. So let's do this. Exile from Japan. Cool. I've got one front over here. I'm just going to mobilize the 5th Field Army. That's going to be more than enough strength. Oh, and we've got another front over here in Burma. I will mobilize the 4th Field Army. Again, this is going to cost us a pile of cash, but it's fine. I'm not going to add any other war goals for now. I could potentially sway France to assist me. I think I'll wait, and if Britain decides to be on that side, I'll pull in France. Any other war goals I want? War operations doesn't seem useful. So we'll leave it be for now. Obviously, that's led me to... Oh, Mexico's rivaled me. Mexico? How dare you? Whoa! Look at all that. The United Front has formed. Oh, Mexico finally became a major, I guess. Mexico's a great power. Cripes, how did this happen? You know, good for her. Trade agreement with Scandinavia? No, thank you. Let's be reasonable here. I'm not putting in any more war goals. I don't want to get over too infamous right now. I am going to start subjugating other powers in India, but Bengal's the big one. Bengal is the one that I really want to subjugate. I'm going to put in one smaller army over here, just so that if I get any chicanery involving fronts, I'll be fine with that. Glory to the Queen is playing. I couldn't think of a better omen for my conquests in India than Glory to the Queen playing. Excellent. Excellent. It doesn't seem like anyone's going to step in, so I feel I can expect this war to finish itself out relatively quickly. I've got a vast cash reserve now, 52 million, so an army expansion is a completely reasonable state of affairs. And this, I know this looks like I'm building a lot of barracks, but I'm not really building that many barracks. This isn't that much. We got a bunch of small diplomatic plays kicking off here. This one is in Orcha. You can safely ignore that. This is Russia going after Kokand. That doesn't seem like anything that concerns me. I don't want to fight Russia right now. Bremen, safely ignore. And then Chugurt I can also safely ignore. Man over machine. Members of the Agrarian Party have expressed their concerns about technology replacing the independence and dignity of manual labor. Would you trust the education of your children to a machine, or the wellness of your body? Then why should we trust them with the labor of our land? The food we eat, the fellowship, the hard work, the cooperation that comes from agriculture, those are the foundations of our society, and progress cannot and shall not replace them. Agrarian Party once again has a ton of momentum. We shouldn't compromise the work of our people, happier rural folk, extra momentum, or progress finds a way, reduce momentum. At this point, the Agrarian Party has what I could best describe as a stranglehold on our body politic. But having them be happy is good. We shouldn't compromise the work of our people. Now, the petite bourgeoisie are going to join the Agrarian Party. They're headed up by a protectionist, but they're reactionaries. We'll see how this goes once the election is finished. We've once again lost the literati and the Confucian scholars out of influence in the government completely. But that's fine. Now, obviously, Bengal is feeling antagonistically towards me now, but, you know, once this war gets done, our relationship overall is pretty good. And I feel it will be better soon, once we've won our war. And there's law enforcement increasing in investment. We are going all the way up to level 5 with law enforcement. We surely are. Beautiful. Just going to take a little break to build these power plants. What that's going to do is... Ooh, there's sea lane strategies. Beautiful. So it'll be time for a naval reform soon. What that's going to do is it's going to significantly increase the supply of engines. Which is once again going to continue to bring engines down in price. Looks like these battles here are going all right. Not this one, but you know, these things happen. This one's going fine though, so I'm feeling reasonably confident in my ability to continue to press this war to its natural end. Production and agitation. In collaboration with the Agrarian Party, Ma Zhanshan has secured a deal for cheap and quickly distributed pamphlets in support of the party. The interior of the carriage held a pleasant surprise, a crate of several thousand pamphlets printed on an industrial scale, each with instructions on the voting process and a cheaply copied logo of the Agrarian Party. They made a hefty weight, and he hoped would turn out to be an equally sized benefit. Bury our opponents in a sea of paper, plus 20% momentum, or these connections could be used later, 10% momentum, and he becomes ambitious. Interest group leader, extra political strength. I don't necessarily need that, But momentum is what it is. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other, kind of, at this point. I can't get him into the position of leader of the country until I dispense with imperial governance entirely. And once again, putting him in power is not really going to help me do that, because Democrat is only about bureaucracy and the vote. It's not about the structure of the government. We are mostly taking West Bengal right now, which is a little bit unfortunate on account of it's going to lead to a split front. Oh, that's why I've got another army over here. Coalition coupons. With the Great Qing versus Bengal war going well, the country is swept up in a frenzy of war. The sitting Agrarian Party has issued letters of endorsement to parliamentary candidates they feel support the war effort, drawing patriotic voters toward their cause. You didn't get the letter, huh? Go figure that coward's some spineless, good-for-nothing pacifists. Our boys are out there dying, and what does he do? Sits around shuffling stacks of paper, waiting for an opportune moment to squander the gains we paid for in blood. Nah, our men need somebody who fights for them as they fight for us. Rally around the party, I mean the flag. 20% extra momentum. Or are you for us or for our adversaries? Interest groups outside the government get -2 approval. That's interesting. I don't necessarily want that, so we'll rally around the party. I mean the flag, of course. How is this advance going here? Going well. Beautiful. Ottoman Empire sides with Greece in some kind of affair. Kokand left the globe. Oh, they were in the Global Protectorate, huh? Oops. Oh well. It's been a while since I've played Vicky 3, so I'm a little bit out of what's going on. Missionary activity in Western Guangdong. We've seen this event a million times. They should leave their preaching with their opium. Get out of here. Power plants in Guangxi and Beijing are almost complete. After that, I'll convert the motor industries in those areas over. Rural electrification may be out of our reach until the era after the game is complete, because we're still building up government capacity. But, you know, we're getting there. I'm going to get my free government reform. We'll pull in the petite bourgeoisie. I don't love it, but it is what it is. Wow. They gained a ton of power suddenly. That's really interesting. That's quite curious, actually. I wonder... Well, they're at the center of the party. So Canada wants an alliance. This is going to cost me a bunch of influence. We already have... We don't have a defensive pact. I'm going to decline. Maybe a defensive pact, sir. In fact, I'm inclined to form a defensive pact. Would you like a defensive pact, sir? Canada and I have renewed our defensive pact. We've once again had front-splitting chicanery, but we've got an army deploying there now, so that should not be a problem. And we've got another mandate available. Excellent. I think I may have finished out the mandates. Yeah, I can increase vassalization level, but that doesn't really... I don't need extra income transfer. So we'll go with the third one. You know, I didn't... Actually... Extra police coordination would be nice. Extra authority from policing. That would be really strong. We're going to do that. I've actually got 2. So we'll get that started. That's going to give me a bunch of bureaucracy back, which I can then turn around and use to improve... to do stuff like home affairs, which will be nice. There's the Socialist Revolt in Tibet that everyone's talking about, which I should have brought up verbally but did not. I'm going to quickly ignore some other things going on. There's Bengal. Lahej has an internal situation. Katheri has an internal situation. Russia's involved in both of those. Couldn't be bothered. Tahiti and Tripolitania are both French. So I am going to get involved. I am going to leave those ones open so that if I need to get involved in them, I will. And that's the end of the affair in Tibet. So, now that I've got these power plants mostly built, let's go ahead and electrify the motor industries. This was Shanxi. This was Guangxi. Was it only in Guangxi? Well, they'll get going. Yeah, and these are the ones in Beijing. And I already swapped the ones in Beijing, right? Yes, I did. Alright. And there's something going on. A proletarian revolt in Johor, who is supported by the United States. Oh, that's right! That's right. Southeast Asia is on the colonization map now, which is exciting. I'm going to go back to improving relations with Bengal. Relations with Bengal could definitely be better since we just fought a war. But we just want to get them down in Liberty Desire so that I can turn them into a subject. The once great nation of Bengal, well, really they were Britain's big India project. But not anymore. So I can definitely go there are definitely countries over here that I could go after now. I think Jaipur, Mysore, Kota, Baroda, and Singh are my next set of targets. With that having been said, in terms of what I'm currently doing, I'm focusing on building up that government. Do a promotion. Scholar officials demand the promotion of Major General Chen Yi, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Dong's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. Their rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. Chen Kui is an ethno-nationalist. He's also 68. He's earned it. I'll take some approval from the scholar officials. So now that I've got these guys in government, any chance I can get a Republican into the petite bourgeoisie? Sure would be nice if there were a petite bourgeoisie aligned Republican that I could have in the country. Sure would be nice if there were some sort of Sun Yat-Sen like figure who would be willing to join my government. Currently, it doesn't appear that I can, which is a shame, but it is what it is. This isn't your computer getting silly; it's mine. Whenever I've got the agitators thing open, it's silly. A lot of looping through lists. So I can do a secret police. I cannot do a guaranteed liberties. So maybe we won't do a. Maybe we'll do an authoritarian democracy. Yeah, let's do secret police. We have the technology. So, as you can see, cash flow is doing much better. That unrealized taxes number is going steadily downward from its height at, 125 million or something like that. Mecklenburg backs down against Prussia. That's fine. Just leave the rest of this stuff be. Don't need to get involved in whatever is occurring in the Nejid. How is the investment pool doing? Investment pool is continuing to increase in size. And it wants more construction capacity. Market access in southern Anhui is insufficient, but these railways are hiring. So that should be fine. Cash flow is good. Literacy is excellent. Tech could not be progressing faster, really. Although literacy is still going up. In fact, it's going up faster than it's been. Law enforcement is level 5. The Metropolitan Police. And due to happy petite bourgeoisie, we've now got a huge pile of bureaucracy to play with. The dedicated police force has solved a series of high-profile murders in Beijing, thanks to our investment in their institution. Public confidence in the police is at an all-time high. Beijing by gaslight can be a treacherous place. The papers would have you believe the danger lurks around every corner. But all of that is set to change. With a peeler patrolman on every street, our citizens will be able to stride confidently in the knowledge that they're protected from the criminal elements. Medals for all our brave bobbies. 33% of servicemen in Beijing become more loyalist, or the Beijing's finest are on the case. Reduced radicals from political movements. I'm going to go with the first one. Having a lot of loyal servicemen in the capital is very good. So, I am actually still at middle taxes, which I'm feeling pretty jazzed about, to be completely honest. I'm going to have a lot more cash soon, but I'm also going to have a lot more authority soon, because we're achieving new mandates in the power block at a very healthy clip now. Now that we're no longer a quote-unquote weak power block, which I dare say I never was. But you know, things can be silly that way. We'll just continue to leave European politics be. Excuse me, what is going on over here? Mecklenburg and Mecklenburg-Strelitz are both in the midst of revolt. See, this often happens in the microstates in Europe. You just get into these situations where they're in population crises. An accidental discovery. Let me just wait until the month ticks over and the autosave finishes. While the government prepares to pass the secret police law, our agents have captured an Australian spy, damaging our already feeble trust in them. A list of all our generals and their families, notes on the state of our barracks and ports, predictions about our imports, exports, production, ports, everything. I'm surprised they didn't get an inventory of our favorite Baiju. Our people need to know. Increased enactment success chance, reduced enactment time, deteriorates relations with Australia, or this is very useful information which should remain private. So the bonus to enactment time is lower, but the bonus to enactment chance is higher. The deteriorating relations with Australia are increased, and the armed forces are happier. This is very useful information that should remain private. I'm going to do the second one. I'll always go for enactment success chance over enactment time. Australia is feeling very unhappy towards me, which is a shame. Maybe I'll improve relations with them once I get relations with Bengal back to normal. These are trade routes with the Russian market that are broken because they're embargoing me like a bunch of fools. So, I'm currently making telephones very, very expensive. And that is pushing up the price of radios, is it not? Or pushing down the price of radios, is it not? Radios are indeed being consumed, again, mostly by barons. Actually, I know how to balance this out. I need to rework my fleets. Because I've got ironclads and torpedo boats, and ironclads and monitors, and what I need is ironclads and scout cruisers. So, well, whatever. We'll just put them wherever we can put them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. By which I mean 10. So we'll do that. I'm going to throw those at the top of the queue here. And after that, we'll close out the monitor and naval bases, same as we've done before. And that's going to really significantly increase the price of radios, and that's going to allow our electrics industries to continue to produce. Profitably, rather. Because that's always the question, right? It's not do they produce, it's do they produce profitably. Because if it's not profitable, it's not going to happen. Delicious water. Law progressed to drafting. Wonderful. Everyone wants a secret police force. Everyone. I'm just responding to the will of the people. The people demand security in the form of police we don't tell anybody about. That's just sensible. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to have bureaucratic capacity, finally. I've been doing without bureaucratic capacity this entire game, and it's been brutal. So with these naval bases being built, which will be done pretty soon, actually. I'm just going to close out all the others, and what's going to happen is all the sailors that were previously employed in the old naval bases for the old ships are going to move over to the new ships. And hopefully that'll go down without a hitch, which will be nice. Yeah, so as you can see, the scout cruisers are not really employing a whole mess of sailors yet, but they will be soon, as we finish out the construction of these remaining bases. That's how it works. Kaiping Mining Company is not as productive as they could be. I don't know why, because I'm using a lot of coal in all my power plants. I'm loving this. I'm loving this huge pile of private sector constructions. That's making me feel very, very satisfied. The investment pool is continuing to increase in size. I do need to increase the size of the construction sector. Obviously, this is very expensive. Alright, let's grab that fleet and decrease the size of the monitors. So as you can see, as soon as we decrease the number of monitors, all of those sailors are flowing into these other bases, and that's making them much more productive. They're taking their sweet time. So I've spread out some of these naval bases in ways that were not smart, but that's alright. We'll do the same with the 3rd Qing fleet. I'm just going to do this exactly the same way as I did before, just now. We'll do... Hey, there's the Dreadnought. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only got the space for 5 in Beijing right now. 8th Qing fleet. Alright, so these scout cruisers need to go to, not the Guangdong fleet, to the Bohai Gulf fleet. All of them. That was curious. Just gonna throw these at the top of the queue once again. And we have an event. An uncanny disappearance. Stall event. The disappearance of Sonin Linge, leader... it doesn't say leader of the literati, but I think he was the leader of the literati. Has raised serious concerns among the elites. Convinced, given his recent opposition to the secret police. It was well past noon when the family reported to the pertinent authorities. Sonin Linge had gone missing all night. No warning or note was left behind. Relatives have expressed their concerns about it being prompted by his insistence on opposing the secret police, since a small knife had been left at their door a few days before, which they now interpret as a threat. There's nothing to investigate here. Reduced enactment time, reduced success chance, literati become unhappy and Linge dies, or we cannot pass the law at the cost of people's trust to increase enactment time. I can afford to lose a little enactment chance to speed things up. There's nothing to investigate here. Just a perfectly normal guy going missing. Why are you making it weird? Alright, so this fleet is on its way to sort itself out, and I'm just hoping it will successfully get into the Bohai Gulf fleet without a problem. Beautiful. And that should solve our issue. 3rd Qing fleet. These are being built. I'm gonna close out. Well, do I close out these torpedo boats yet, or do I wait? Not quite done yet. They'll sort themselves out eventually, I'm sure. Then I'm left with this funny... I'm not really sure what to make of this. Hey, there's nitrogen fixation. That'll allow me to produce a whole ton more fertilizer, which is real nice. Except it takes power, does it not? No, it does not. Only oil. It's going to cost me a total of 2,000 oil. And I got 2,000 oil in the market. I sure do. And that means we can use more fertilizer in the farms. Maybe that'll solve some of our hunger issues. The art of doing nothing. Though previously opposed to the secret police laws, Ma Zhanshan has considered the bourgeoisie's political position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing. While you do everything behind whispers and masked men? Indubitably. Welcome their support. Stronger interest groups for my ruling interest groups and extra enactment chance. Or keep a sharp eye, they're up to something, he becomes less popular. I'm going to welcome their support. It's the same thing I always do. So, we've had a pretty productive episode. We've taken over Bengal. We've continued to expand the government, including the army and the navy. It's been very productive, but that is all the time we've got for this episode. My nerds have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.